Welcome to the Copyright for Educators presentation. This presentation is a brief overview of copyright and the Teach Act for educators who teach online. Complying with copyright law is the implied but unwritten 52nd competency for online instructors as outlined by Theodore C. Smith. Copyright protects ideas expressed in tangible form, protects the financial rewards of creativity, and protects creative works as soon as they are created. So what is copyright, and why are we showing money floating away in this slide? Ignoring copyright can cost big money, or even time in jail. According to Penn State, if any information copied and given to students violates copyright laws, then the instructor of the class is directly liable for the infringement and could face a lawsuit. Penn State cites Mark Lindsay, who offers this story in copyright law on campus. A professor's teaching assistant hires a copy center employee to make copies of a textbook. The copies are part of a course pack for a class. The materials were copyrighted, no one had asked for permission to use the material, and the textbook publisher found out about the copying. So who is at fault? All of them. The professor, the teaching assistant, and the copy center employee. This is contributory infringement, as the professor, teaching assistant, and copy center employee all knew the materials were copyrighted but copied them anyway. But even more people could be affected. The shop owner and the university could also be held liable. This is vicarious infringement. The consequences could be huge. The copyright holder could recover just market value, or the copyright holder could ask for statutory damages anywhere from $750 to $250,000. In some cases, even a jail sentence of up to 5 years might be imposed. And don't count on the university protecting the professor. Many universities now place all the liability for the use of copyrighted materials on the instructor, and course designers often have to sign a contract stating that they are ultimately solely responsible for course materials adhering to copyright laws. As a general rule, for works created after January 1st, 1978, copyright protection lasts for the life of the author plus an additional 70 years. What can't be copyrighted? Literary plots, situations, settings, stock themes such as Lost in Space, Wild West Shoot 'em Up, and so on, titles of books, movies, stories, poems, songs. Lady was done by Styx, Kenny Rogers, and the Commodores. 3 different songs, 3 different artists. And anything written by the government cannot be copyrighted because you pay taxes. So you've already paid for that information. It belongs to you and it is in the public domain. So how may I use copyrighted materials? A derivative takes an item and builds on that item to create a new project. Think of a screenplay based on a book. However, the copyright coverage is based on the life of the creator of the original work plus 70 years. You may invoke fair use by using transformative uses such as parody, criticism, commentary, news reporting, art, scholarship, and research. Ask these questions before using copyrighted material in the classroom. Is the work transformative? Have you used no more than 10% of the work? Is the copy of the work owned by the institution or by the instructor? Is the work attributed as copyrighted? Is access limited and terminated at the end of class? And most importantly, is it taking money from the creator of the work? The Technology in Education and Copyright Harmonization Act of 2002, known as the Teach Act, modifies previous copyright law but not the standards for fair use. It permits display and performance of nearly all types of works. There is no restriction on a recipient's location, and it allows student access for the length of the class session. It allows the instructor to copy and store materials, including some analog works, as long as transmission to students is limited and password protected. Class sessions online may vary, and materials may be displayed longer than they would in a live class. Materials should only be accessible for the period needed, but the same video may be shown more than once. Linking to an article on a database or website is not a copyright violation under the Teach Act. Check before linking a database article. Database licensing agreements differ, but sometimes PDFs may be uploaded in lieu of a direct link if the work is in the public domain, permissions have been granted from the copyright holder, and your use qualifies as fair use. Finding materials to use in your online course is relatively easy. Creative Commons works are donated, and the licensing is identified by the logos. The terms are generous and they are easily explained. Google Images allows you to filter using licensing requirements. If you go to Tools and click on that, you will pull up usage rights, and the bottom two are labeled for non-commercial reuse. You can go to a site like Pixabay, which is a free site. It lets you download illustrations, photos, vector images, and more for free. Be sure you understand the difference between copyright-free and royalty-free. Royalty-free means you pay one time, but you may use the material multiple times. It does not mean the material is copyright-free. So, Smith's benchmarks for competency include electronic security measures, meeting quality standards, and maintaining program integrity. So to meet those benchmarks, review compliance with copyright law and the TEACH Act. Control access, comply with fair use, link wherever possible, get permission to use, and if it's going to cost the creator money, don't use it. These sources were used in this presentation. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact me, and thank you for your time.